Hello my friends, welcome back. I'm John Silva. In this tutorial I'm gonna show you how you can create hairs. The hairs is something that many people struggle to do because it is kind of hard to manage each kind of line. So I'll give you awesome tips in order to help you with that. Let's get started. First of all, let's get started to talk about how you can make the hair's anatomy. So each hair, you have different kind of appearance, which means the curve and how it is gonna work. Okay, I have here this hair as example, just to show you that each hair is gonna be different. All right, you have here more the wavy hairs, so each one you need to use can be a different kind of technique. What I wanna show you is that if you are using and making hairs like this, as this example, you can use the pencil tool because it is more organic to do just like that. Okay, you're gonna have this kind of curve. If you go to a curve like this, you need to make the curve more opened. All right, just like this one. And this one, what you can do in case that you want to use the pen tool, you can click in just 2 points like that, like this, and then you go here by pushing this curve until here and this one more until this point, and then you're going to start to have anatomy for each curve that you work. Also for afro hairs, also you have a kind of many details that you can start to apply in order to accomplish that shape. All right, so this one, there are many ways that you can accomplish different results as well. Let's take a look here in this example that we have. So how I would vector this? First of all, if you have the job to vector this, I will start this by telling you this. Guys, make everything simple for you to understand how you vector. First of all, I would apply the posterize filter, which is going to be here, apply inside of the image. The posterize is gonna make everything simplified for you. And then also you can apply here the black and white. By doing this, you're gonna notice that everything here is so far easier to see. You can also manage to make this a bit darker in order to see a bit better. So let's leave it just like that. Also, as an example, which kind of tool you'd use here? You can use the pen tool and also the pencil tool, right? Well, it depends about what you feel most comfortable. But here I will decrease the opacity just like that, and I will start to vector. I will start from here on top, and then I'll follow this angle here. So be careful to not vector everything at once, because you need to be aware that each shape is gonna represent each hair that we have here. So I will do this more or less like that, and then here we go. I'll apply this below. You can add use a few in order just to have different shapes. I'll also will apply here in this area. So try to follow the curve of the hair by creating different shapes. By doing this, you notice that you start to have the hair in a nice shape, and then you can start to add some kind of details. This is something that most people really struggle. It is to add details in hair. Well, it really depends about the style that you want to accomplish in your art. In that case, I have here these examples. Most vector artists like me, they usually vector, okay, hairs to be simplified just like that. Because if you go to very high details level of creating hair, you need to apply a lot of texturings and even digital painting. But what we want to do here in that case, it is to make a simplified version for this hair. Okay, just as example, in that case, look at this. I'm gonna apply here the values method. Which is mean about this? I'll make this in black and white like that, and then I'm gonna remove here the outline just like that. By doing that, you're gonna have just one single shape, which is the silhouette. And from this point, what you can do, it is to start to apply here the gradient. I'm gonna use now the fill tool and start to do this. Look, I will start to apply this because I want to have the values being applied, which is going to make the hair a bit easier to recognize where are the areas. Okay, I'm just adding here and also in this area here. By doing that, you're gonna start to notice that it becomes even more visible, the meshes from the hair, from top and to the bottom. Okay, this is what I suggest you to do. Okay, follow this technique and it will be fine. As you can see in this example, what also I recommend you to do, let's take a look in our reference. This is reference. As you see, we have some lights going on over here. So it depends also in which style you want to accomplish. You can go with more anime style or more a realistic style. Realistic styles means that you're gonna have much more details. In that case, you're gonna have these textures. I will show you these two methods to accomplish this result. And what I'm gonna use here, it is the vector brushes. Vector brushes is awesome to make details like this because you can control the curve. Choose the vector brushes. First of all, I'm gonna open here the brushes, and you see that here in these brushes, it is the vector brushes. All right. In that case, you have the standard brushes by Affinity and others that it is done by artists. In my case, I made these John Marvelous vector brushes where you can get on my Grunode. I'll make the link available here below so you can get if you want. So in that case, I'm gonna use here this one, and I will show you how that works. First of all, I will use here this brush. I'm gonna make this in a little bit white, and then I'll start with this area right here. So insert inside right now, press B, which is the vector brush, and then you start to do this. Look, you start to follow that line. I will do this one more time and you'll see the result. As you can see, as you add more lines, it's going to add, of course, more details. I personally like to have something more simplified, and I want to make this simplified by using the transparency tool. I want to apply here transparency tool right now in these curves that I'm doing right now. And what's important in that case, it is that you, for example, this detail here, using transparency tool, all right, you will create 3 points. One, you're going to fade. Another, you're gonna make this high, and this you're gonna fade. By doing that, you're gonna start to have this detail right here, and it's gonna become even nicer now. I will start to add the same technique in others areas here. I'm gonna make this a bit bigger, and then I will do this. I will create here, one here, another here, and another here. And then I'll paste that style. I'll Ctrl C and Ctrl Shift V in this in order to paste details that we are adding on here. Using the transparency tool, you can control the amount of highlights that you add in the hair. All right, trust me, what I'm showing you, it is the easiest way to make hair in a nice way. As well, I'll apply to others areas. I can add here as well, in this area. I'll press Ctrl Shift V here as well, Ctrl Shift V, because I'm pasting, okay, the areas that we have highlights. I'll paste here, and look at this. Now it's become even nicer now. Paste here and here. I will paste in these 3 guys that we have. I mean, just use one single brush basically to do that. But keep in mind that if you select, for example, all of these curves that we are doing and creating right now, you can switch to others brush strokes. Look at this. I can switch to this one, which is becoming very nice. And just to let you know that you can download my vector brushes on my Grunode. Here as well, you have this one, and many ways to accomplish different results. I honestly, by accident, I really like this one, the John Shark, and so it's giving us this awesome result. And then you can start to add even more details. Alright, as you can see, we have just applied some details that is polishing even more the hair that we are creating. And what I want to do, it is to apply the mannequin that's gonna help us to understand how this is working. So I will activate here our mannequin, and just to let you know that you can watch other lessons that I built here on this channel, and you can learn how to build hair heads if you want as well. After this video, you can watch in there. So what I will do, it is to group this hair that I made. I will group them, and then I will duplicate and flip here in this option that's called flip horizontal. By doing that, you're gonna see that it's gonna flip, but of course you need to change a little bit because it is too symmetrical. All right, so I'm gonna remove some meshes. I will do this, just show that it is totally possible to have different type of result. So we are just saving a time in order to show you how you can apply that. In that case, remove this and then apply here in a little bit different. I'm gonna use now the mesh tool just to apply here this one more like that. If you're enjoying this tutorial, please leave the like and comment here more suggestions about what you want to learn. Alright my friend, now it is time to show you how you can make coloring. Alright, so this is not about only making vectors, but also is a haircut lesson. So let's get started by showing you about the coloring. As you see, we have here the values, okay, being applied in this shape. So I'll press here the G, which is the fill tool that I'm using here, and I can start to do this. Look, I can apply here the red color in this area as well in this one. You can decide in which color you want to follow. Okay, let me now copy and paste to others elements such as these others areas. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just pasting, you know, the color that I did in that shape, and then Ctrl Shift and V in order to paste, and then you paste to others shapes as well. If you want to make this one more, let's say, you know, in different color, feel free. It becomes even nicer, right? So as you see, we have a lot of brushes going on here, and I need to change these tonalities because it is not full of white. I want to change that. So what I will do, first of all, it is to select these lines, okay, which is these highlights, and then I'm going to change that to something that is gonna blend with the color, right? So as you see, I'm changing here. So I'll copy, and now I'll start to paste this style, Ctrl Shift V to others, just like that. Okay, by doing that, you're gonna start to have a better result. This one I can make even a bit darker. All right, I can make this a bit darker, and the areas that you have more the light, you can make it the color more red. The ones that it is more shadow, you can add, let's say here it's more shadow, and then I made this curve in dark. So what's important when you are creating hair, it is create the variations, okay, like this. I can make this in more, push it to a red, okay, and then you need to have variance with the curve. So you create now one lighter and another dark. By doing that, you're gonna have a much better design result here, as you see. And then of course from this part, you can just start to polish even more your design. Okay, so what I'm showing you, it is just the shortcut in order to help you to understand how the hair works. But of course, as you see here, in this shape that I have, I could make this a bit more, let's say, darker, like that, you know, and then you can start to polish more the values in order to make the contrast between the shapes that we have here better, right? So here it's not that you need to really pay attention, right? It is to make the contrast even better. Of course, you need to follow the flow of the hair. So press A, the node tool, in order to change that line. Alright, if you want to learn much more than this video, I suggest you to join on my VECTORIZE club. I will leave the link available to you on the description below. And also, I have other lessons that I'm releasing here weekly, okay? And I'll leave here the next video that you can watch by clicking here in this side, okay? I want to thank you so much, and I see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye, take care.